evidence that what we have today in Jamaica is the most corrupt administration that has ever held office in the history of our country since independence.
What is this man talking about? Well, make me make the statement, backed up by facts, that the PNP is the most corrupt political organization in the Caribbean.
Pushing for history, have we heard of a government entering into verbal contracts, no paper, no sign.
Listen, when you hear a former opposition leader stand up and say Jamaica has the most corrupt administration in its history, that's not normal politics. That's political warfare. And when the sitting Prime Minister fires back and says, there is no cover-up, we stand firmly against corruption, you know this isn't just debate. This is legacy on the line. Today we are reacting to a powerful exchange between Peter Phillips of the People's National Party, PNP, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness of the Jamaica Labour Party, GLP. This wasn't just a speech. This was a battle over corruption, credibility, and Jamaica's political history. Let's break this down properly.
If you go back to 1989, which is a long time ago, you would hear about the Rollins land deal scandal.
Police use car scandal.
If you go back to 1990, you remember the zinc scandal after Hurricane Gilbert.
FLA scandal.
You have the furniture scandal. Then you have the Shell waiver scandal.
$8 million phone bill scandal.
Then you have a big scandal in 1992 over the illegal importation of motor vehicles. Then in 1993, we hear some man buy US dollar out of the back of them car all over. Big scandal.
$9 million travel scandal at TTD. The government have more scandal in it than Riverton City have scandal back.
You hear about the corrupt distribution of land in Holland. You hear about the Operation Pride scandal. Then in 1997, you have the FinSac scandal.
And then we have this super scandal, the Petrojam scandal. That one have everything in it.
And then now you have the mother of all scandal, the traffic guru scandal. You remember that?
Friends of the government collecting money for travel, but not traveling.
The Montego Bay street people scandal. The fat cat salary scandal. You remember NetServe? Yes.
Friends of the government getting jobs at 3 times the pay that the previous occupants of the job had. While at the same time, long-serving, loyal, patriotic civil servants being fired from jobs.
Then you have the Sandals White House scandal. Then now, after that, you come up with the Cuban light bulb scandal. You remember that? You have the Hanover Parish Council scandal.
Friends of the government and activists for the JLP getting jobs in organizations for which they don't have qualifications.
Then you have the Chick V scandal. Then you have the dead baby scandal. Then you have the bad gas scandal. Then you have now the Parish Council in a Manchester scandal.
Friends being awarded contracts by breaking the procurement rules, and some of those friends is the same people that turn up in the bushing scandal.
You remember Outer Many scandal? You remember EWI energy scandal?
Never in our history have we heard of a government entering into verbal contracts, no paper, no sign. just word of mouth. $23 million. What madness is this going on in our country, Master?
You can't cuss me when you corrupt.
Thank God for the opposition in Parliament. Thank God for the PAAC and the PNP members and the PAAC.
We already know that in bad mind, him that likes the people prosper. And now we know that him is nothing but a hypocrite. There will always be in every government, regardless of jurisdiction, people who breach the rule, people who use their power unjustly, unfairly, and unduly. The mark of the good government is that when it is done, there is no cover-up. When we face our challenges, there is no one who could criticize this government to say that we were covering up corruption. No, the Jamaica Labour Party stands firmly against corruption, and we will put in place and have been putting in place the measures to address it.
Peter Phillips came out swinging. He didn't just criticize one issue. He listed scandal after scandal after scandal. Decades worth. From land deals to procurement breaches, to travel controversies, to procurement rule violations. That strategy is powerful psychologically. When you overload people with examples, you create a feeling of wow, this is too much to ignore. He framed it as the most corrupt administration since independence. Verbal contracts worth millions. Friends of the government benefiting. Procurement rules being broken. Now here is the key thing. Phillips wasn't just attacking policy. He was attacking legitimacy. He was basically saying, this government cannot be trusted with public money. That's serious. Now watch how Prime Minister Andrew Holness responded. He didn't deny that wrongdoing can happen. Instead, he reframed the government. He said, every government will have people who breach rules. The mark of a good government is whether there is a cover-up. That's a smart pivot. Instead of arguing nothing happened, he argues we deal with it transparently. He emphasized oversight mechanisms, no cover-up, institutional reforms, anti-corruption measure. This is a classic leadership framing. Shift from accusation to governance. He also subtly suggested hypocrisy, reminding Jamaicans that past administration had scandals too. Let's be honest. Since independence in 1962, Jamaica has been dominated by two parties, the PNP and the GLP. Both have governed. Both have faced controversies. Both have had scandals attached to their names at different times. So when corruption becomes a weapon in debate, it's not just about one event. It becomes about who has the moral authority, who is more incredible, who can Jamaicans trust. And that's why this exchange hits differently. Peter Phillips' strategy were emotional pressure, historical memory, public outrage, overwhelm the audience with examples. Andrew Holness' strategy were calm institutional defense, emphasize systems over individuals, normalize that breaches can occur, stress transparency. Two completely different approaches. One says the system is rotten. The other says The system works because we confront issues. That's the real clash. That isn't just politics for entertainment. Corruption affects public service, infrastructure, healthcare, education, and trust in government. When Jamaicans hear about millions in contracts without written agreements, it triggers something deeper: frustration. But at the same time, constant corruption accusations can also create political fatigue. So the real question becomes, are we seeing accountability or are we seeing political theater? Here is my take. This was a powerful exchange. Peter Phillips was forceful, detailed, and aggressive. Andrew Holness was measured, institutional, defensive, but confident. The real winner? That depends on what voters value. If you want outrage and exposure, Philip hits hard. If you want stability and structure, Holness held the ground. At the end of the day, corruption debates are not new in Jamaica. But what matters isn't who shouts louder. What matters is, are investigations happening? Are systems improving? Are public funds protected? Is transparency real? Because Jamaica deserves governance, not just arguments. Drop your thoughts below. Who made the stronger case? Peter Phillips or Andrew Holness? And more importantly, is Jamaica moving forward when it comes to accountability? Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.